If y is equal to 3 to the power of x, express 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 in terms of y. Hence, solve the equation 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 minus 28 times 3 to the power of x plus 3 is equal to 0, for x is an element of the real number set. So the first thing we need to do here is to express 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 in terms of y. So we start with 3 to the power of 2x plus 2, and we're going to break it down to 3 to the power of 2x multiplied by 3 to the power of 2. So we're using law 1 of indices here, which tells me that when I multiply powers with the same base, I add the powers. But I'm actually using this law in reverse. So I'm going from a to the power of p plus q, and I'm getting a to the power of p multiplied by a to the power of q. So 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 gives me 3 to the power of 2x multiplied by 3 to the power of 2. So 3 squared is just going to give me 9. But 3 to the power of 2x I can break down to be 3 to the power of x raised to the power of 2. And again, I'm using a law of indices for this. And I'm using law number 3, which says that a to the power of p raised to the power of q gives me a to the power of pq. Or in words, when I'm raising a power to a higher power, I multiply the powers. But here again, I'm using this law in reverse. So I'm going from a to the power of pq gives me a to the power of p raised to the power of q. So 3 to the power of 2x gives me 3 to the power of x raised to the power of 2. Now technically I could have changed 3 to the power of 2x into 3 to the power of 2 raised to the power of x. But that wouldn't actually help me because I want 3 to the power of x, because I was told in my question that y is equal to 3 to the power of x. So I want 3 to the power of x. So I have 9 times 3 to the power of x raised to the power of 2. I'm going to swap the 3 to the power of x for a y because that's what I was told in my question. Y is equal to 3 to the power of x, and I end up with 9y squared. So then I can solve my equation. 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 minus 28 times 3 to the power of x plus 3 is equal to 0. So I have 3 to the power of 2x plus 2. I'm going to swap that for 9y squared. Bring down the minus, bring down the 28. Then I have 3 to the power of x. I'm going to swap that for y, because I was told in the question y is equal to 3 to the power of x. I'm going to bring down the plus 3 and the equal 0. Now all I have to do is multiply out the minus 28 by the y, which will just give me minus 28y. And then I have a quadratic. 9y squared minus 28y plus 3 is equal to 0. Now at this point I could factorize and then solve, but I'm going to use my quadratic formula for this. This is also known as the minus b formula, and it's given to me in my formula tables. So my formula is minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. I'm going to label my first term as 9. I'm going to label my second term as b, and my third term as c. Then all I have to do is sub into my formula, but making sure that I swap every letter for a set of brackets. This is very, very important, especially for this step here. If I did not use brackets, I would end up with minus 28 to the power of 2, and what would happen is it would square the 28 and then stick the minus on, and it would give us the wrong answer. So always use brackets when you're doing substitution. So I end up with minus bracket minus 28 bracket plus minus the square root of bracket minus 28 bracket squared minus 4 bracket 9 bracket 3 bracket, all divided by 2 bracket 9 bracket. So minus by minus gives a plus, so we get plus 28. And then the square root of minus 28 squared minus 4 times 9 times 3 is going to give me 26, so it's actually plus or minus 26. And 2 by 9 gives me 18. So I'm going to break this down into two steps, one using the plus and one using the minus. So I end up with 28 plus 26 divided by 18, which gives me 1 over 9. So one of my y values is 1 over 9, because remember my quadratic formula, my quadratic equation had y's in it. So it's y is equal to 1 over 9. It's not x is equal to 1 over 9. And then if I use the minus, I get 28 minus 26 divided by 18 gives me 3. So my other y value is 3. But now I need to find x. So what I need to do is rewrite the 1 over 9 and the 3 as a base of 3. So 1 over 9 is going to be 1 over 3 squared, because 9 can be rewritten as 3 squared. And 1 over 3 squared can be rewritten as 3 to the power of minus 2. So again, I'm using one of my laws of indices to rewrite this. And that is law 5, which says that 8 to the power of minus p gives me 1 over 8 to the power of positive p. So I'm using this rule in reverse. I'm going from 1 over 8 to the power of positive p gives me 8 to the power of minus p. So 1 over 3 to the power of positive 2 gives me 3 to the power of negative 2. Then I'm going to rewrite 3 as a base of 3 as well, and that's just going to be 3 over 1. So I was told in my question that y is equal to 3 to the power of x. So if y is equal to 3 to the power of x, then 3 to the power of x is going to be equal to 3 to the power of minus 2. Because all I've done there is just swapped the y for 3 to the power of x, because I was told in my question y is equal to 3 to the power of x. And I swapped the 1 over 9 for 3 to the power of minus 2, because I worked out 1 over 9 to be 3 to the power of minus 2. Now that I have 3 to the power of something equals 3 to the power of something, I can cancel out my bases, and I bring down my indices. So I bring down the x, the equals, and the minus 2. And there's no working out to do here, I just have my answer, x is equal to minus 2. I'm also going to do the same over here. I'm going to swap the y for 3 to the power of x, again, because it told me in the question y is equal to 3 to the power of x. And I'm swapping the 3 for 3 over 3 to the power of 1. I can cancel out my bases, I can cancel out my 3's, bring down my indices and my equals, and I end up with x is equal to 1. There's no working out to do there. It's very important that I find my x values, not just my y values, because in the question I was asked to solve the equation 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 minus 28 times 3 to the power of x plus 3 is equal to 0. So I was asked to solve for x. So it's very important that I find x.